working to figure out how to overcome that fear. And that takes intentional effort. That takes consistency. That takes prayer, and that just takes like a lot of work. You got to shut up and grind. You can't make excuses, because the fear is what will produce the excuses, and the fear will put the excuses right on your lap.
Welcome to the Student Loan Podcast.
Here, you'll find practical advice on tackling student loan debt, paying down your higher education expenses,
and inspiring stories about paying off student loans. We're your hosts, Daphne Vanessa
and Shamil Rodriguez.
Please rate, review, and subscribe to the Student Loan Podcast by visiting the Student Loan Podcast on Apple Podcasts or wherever you find your podcasts.
This is not professional advice, and we speak from our own personal views and opinions.
The Student Loan Podcast is brought to you by Start New, where you can serve your community and get rewarded with tuition and student loan payments. To check out if Start New is on your campus, visit startnew.com. Hello, everyone, and welcome again to another episode of the Student Loan Podcast. Today's episode, we have a guest that needs no introduction. Ladies, gentlemen, theys, zays, we have the one, the only Dee-1 here to talk to us about student loans, because I know you heard his track, I Finished Paying Sallie Mayback. So without further ado, Dee-1, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you so much for having me. I do think that an introduction is necessary, because even if people heard my song about paying my student loans off, Sallie Mayback, that still doesn't mean that they know me. So hopefully that's what today can,
I love it.
Yeah. So the introduction, the short of it is that I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana. I graduated high school and I chose to attend LSU, Louisiana State University, for college. Ironically, I had full scholarships to several other schools, and I didn't have a full scholarship to LSU, but I went there honestly chasing behind a girl. Yeah, and so I'm sure I'm not the first or the last person in the history of life to have love make you do some irrational things.
Of course.
You know?
Of course.
So that's how I ended up there, and literally had to take out loans, which was crazy, because I was like, whoa, I have full rides to places like Howard University, places like University of Florida, like several schools actually, even more than that. But got there, took out student loans. While I was in school, I began rapping just as a hobby, like a lot of other college students at the time, just kind of having fun, having ciphers with your friends in the dorm room. But I definitely noticed that, hey, I'm pretty good I'm better than my friends.
I'm nice.
Yeah, I'm better than my friends at this. So that led to me saying I would actually love to be a rapper and full time be able to get into the hip hop industry. Yep. And by the time I graduated college, I had the desire to do it, but I didn't feel like I was far enough in the craft or had a big enough fan base to do it full time. So I did what we go to school to do, which is I used my my degree to get a job and to gain employment. I became a teacher. I was a middle school teacher in Baker, Louisiana, right outside of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And that was where I realized, like, hey, trying to pay these student loans back on this
Teacher salary.
meager teacher salary is proven more difficult than I would have liked it to be. I didn't do Teach for America or anything.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of people wonder, like, did you do TFA? No. So in doing that, I was still pursuing my hip hop aspirations on the side from being a teacher.
How did you make time for that?
How did I make time for it? I chose to be a teacher because of the built-in time that exists. Yeah, so I went to school. I got a business degree. I could have easily went and worked for a Fortune 500 company, or I got a marketing degree to be specific. So I could have been doing marketing for any company in the world probably. I had good grades and everything. But I was like, yo, teaching, you get your summers off, you get weekends off. You get out of school by 3 or 3:30 every day. You get holidays off. There was so much built-in time to automatically pursue my passion of doing music. That played a big role in my decision.
That's really smart. Did you hear that, guys? He made a conscious decision, no matter what talent he had, to make a choice that allowed for him to have the time, a commodity that you can't replace, so that he could do his craft.
Yes.
I love that.
Very important, because I did understand that there was a bigger picture that I was ultimately trying to paint. And that picture was, I just wanted to have impact in whatever profession I chose. So for me, it was definitely impact over income. The teaching profession would allow me to pour into students every day and plant those seeds that could eventually sprout into them having amazing futures. And if they have amazing futures, we have a better world because of it.
Love that.
Yeah. So that was definitely like the instant gratification that I wanted to receive from a profession. Now the delayed gratification was, since I am picking something that builds in time for me to pursue my real passion, which is music, I may still be able to, achieve success in that world because of the time that I've built in. I didn't want to be like some of my friends and pick this profession that looks really good on paper and that pays, a lot of money, or what we think is a lot of money, but it literally leaves no bandwidth to do what you really love to do. I didn't want to be like that. I didn't. And teaching was that perfect bridge to give me the instant gratification that I wanted of knowing I'm making a difference, to pay my bills. Like, I was able to pay my bills off of being a teacher, and to give me the time, like you said, because that time is irreplaceable. And it was the music that I was able to create during my off time that I was afforded as a teacher that ultimately helped my my music career take off to where, and we can get into that part. But teaching only lasted 2 years for me because the off time that I had and the motivation that I got while being in the classroom and seeing the impact that hip-hop music was having on these students actually propelled the music I was creating during my off time.
Yep.
And it was that music that I was creating that ultimately blew up enough to where I was able to take the classroom and say, I'm still a teacher at heart, but I'm not in the classroom teaching anymore. I'm able to jump
You're
into
teaching
this.
in your music.
There you go. I'm able to jump into this music industry and now the world is my classroom.
Oh my goodness, that is so inspirational. And as a musician myself, but who did not take it seriously, unfortunately, I really commend you for making that hard decision, right? To choose your passion and to strategically make a decision on how you're going to make sure that happens. What made you make that decision, and what made you not do what everybody else was doing, which is take the high-paid salary job, supposedly enough to pay off your student loans? Why didn't you do that?
Yeah, because death was a real reality that I confronted earlier in life that I knew, like, unfortunately, I cannot sit here and tell you how long I have on this earth or how long you have on this earth. And the fact that life and death are so unpredictable, I needed to make sure that however much time I have, and if it's 100 more years, cool. But if it's far, less than that, I wanted to just make sure that my time was spent down here doing things that I was at least passionate about. I think with the passion, comes the productivity. With being extra productive and extra passionate about whatever you're doing, I think that provides the paper. You know what I mean? That we want. Because if you stand out at whatever you do, you could be picking up garbage. But if you're great at it and you're passionate about it, you're going to find that, like, I'm kind of like upper echelon, top 10th of what I do. And I probably get compensated more than the bottom 90, in what I do. And then along with all those P's comes the other one, which is peace, And to me, that peace comes along with doing something that you're passionate about, something that you're productive with, and something to where you're like, hey, paper-wise, I'm not comparing what I make to anyone else. I'm just comparing it to, am I maxing out at what I can be doing in this particular field? And for me, it's like, yeah, like if I'm doing all those things, then I'm fine. And that's what made me make the decision to not only want to teach, but even afterwards to say, like, music is not just an endeavor that I'm doing to try to get popular. There's so many artists who they just want validation, and they're looking for it from those comments online from fans, or they want to feel like they matter to someone. So it's like, let me go and rap. Maybe I can get popular and get famous, and maybe fame will fill in this big hole that I really feel in my spirit, to where I don't feel significant. I felt very significant as Mr. Augustine, the middle school teacher, but then as Dee-1, it became even more of an endeavor where it's like, I'm really like a servant leader, so this isn't even all about me, because I might have the platform and people might see my stature rise as an artist, or more people knowing my name, but really I'm pouring out so much of myself, so many of my life experiences. I'm turning them into songs. Every night when I'm on a stage, I'm literally pouring my all out there. So people are like, this dude really expends a lot of energy on this stage. I'm on social media interacting with fans and with supporters, not just doing like some people do, which makes no sense to me, and not appreciating, their supporters, and really just kind of like taking them so for granted. And I'm just like, nah, I'm that person who views himself as, yes, I'm in a leadership position, but I'm a servant as well. And the servanthood comes before even being a leader.
I love that. I love that. Your servant leadership is part of what you rap about too, right? Like, I feel like when I hear your music, and I'm sure other people, derive different things. When I hear it, I hear who I should be, who I should strive to be. Examples of what a good person would be like to become. Talk to us about why you chose to rap about that instead of cars, money.
Yeah, well, those things don't really apply to my real life. I don't own. I mean, I do own a foreign car, but it's a Honda. You know what I mean? For real. It's technically a foreign, though. Rappers talk about having foreigns. I have a foreign car, but
it's paid in full.
Yeah, and I don't have a car note. You know what I mean? When we talk about money, yes, I have money for sure. But if I'm gonna rap about money, I'm not just gonna rap about what's in my bank account. I'm gonna rap about number one, the hard work that went into getting this money. Number two, I'm going to rap about not what I have, but what I'm going to have because of the investments that I'm making with my money. And number three, I'm not going to rap about just having something in present tense, but I'm going to rap about like how to make sure that in the future tense, you have more and not less, because you're either going to go up or down in the future. So to rap about what I have presently, like so many people are obsessed with, what they have, and they talk about what they have. I'm less worried about that. I have what I have, but if I'm gonna make music about something, or if I'm gonna use my platform to speak about something, it's gonna be about what I'm striving for in the future and giving you the blueprint on how I'm gonna get there. I
love that.
Yeah, like that's the main thing. I don't want to just promote the prize. I want to promote the process.
The journey.
Yeah.
The journey.
Yeah.
And leading into the journey, let's talk about your student loan journey.
Okay.
How did you pay off your student loans? First, how much did you have? How much did you accumulate by, not taking those full-time scholarships?
I don't even want to say how much I had, because it makes me feel like I have spoken about it, and I find that people get very I would say territorial when it comes to their student loan journeys, to where some people feel like, hey, like, you didn't have as much as me, so you didn't have it as hard as I have it now. So you're not really, or some people look at it like, whoa, you had so much in student loans compared to me that, I don't have to do the same things you did, D. I don't have to make the same sacrifices you made, because you got way more than what I have. You know what I mean? So these principles, I have these principles that I followed to really help me eradicate that student loan debt. And when some people try to diminish them or say that I don't need to listen to that because, we're in different brackets in terms of what we had, I'm just like, just know that it was real. It was real, and it took a record deal and we'll talk about that. It took a record deal to pay them off.
And so, okay, we won't go into the number, But it took a record deal to pay off your student. It was a lot of money, because I heard record deals. You know, you're not poor.
Yeah. Now, when you sign a record deal, that's like that.
You made it.
There you go. It's kind of like, whoa, I'm officially in a different tax bracket now, and yo, this is definitely the biggest lump sum of money you get in advance. They call it, you know. So they give you
like when you write a book.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yep. I need to write a book too.
We can help you with that.
Word. Yeah, like I need to do that. I have a lot to share with people. But yeah, so you get that advance, and for me, it was like, oh, now I could finally pay these loans off. Because anything before then, just working as a teacher and just what I was making every 2 weeks after taxes, those loans were not getting touched.
Yep.
Every now and then, it was like, man, I'm going to make this minimum payment this month. All right, cool. But then it's like, something came up with my car or you know, something just, because I've never been a person to splurge on big name brands or anything, but it was just seeming so impossible at the time off of just my teaching salary to tackle the debt that I had. And I actually learned a lot of mistakes that I even made when taking out loans, and the amount that I took out compared to the profession that I went into and the starting salary, you know. And it was just, it was things that I've learned this so that I can better inform the next person coming up.
Yep.
You know, so
Yep.
yeah, the record deal definitely gave me an opportunity. It was like, all right, D, you signed this record deal. RCA Records, big company, right? One of the biggest labels in the world. Do you go and buy buku jewelry and be like a rapper, you know, with flossing your ice? Do you go and buy a new car or new cars, you know, and super expensive cars, you know what I mean? Or do you stay driving your 1998 Honda Accord that I had at the time? Do you keep that? Do you go and just all of a sudden start like wearing Christian Dior and Prada and Gucci this and everything? Or do you say, hey, I can use a chunk of this to pay off all those student loans, all that interest that I'm starting to accrue, like that can be
debt-free.
Yeah, be debt-free. And that's what I chose to do. And when I did it, it felt better than I would have felt if I'd went to the car lot and bought, you know, a brand new just high priced car for myself.
That loses value, by the way, the day you drive off the lot.
Yeah.
Depreciation, ladies and gentlemen.
There you go. And people, you know, I'm glad you said that, because I feel the same way about cars. Nowadays, you know, you have the people that'll try to butt in and say, no, but now you can turn that car into something profitable by putting it on Turo or things like that. There was no Turo when I signed my deal. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, this wasn't last year that I signed my deal. So for me, it's like, yeah, do I get a car that's going to depreciate as soon as I buy off the lot? And it was like, whatever that feeling would have felt like, I've been in other people's cars. Manny Fresh, he's a legendary producer from New Orleans. I remember the first time he let me drive one of his super expensive cars. We were in Houston. We were at the studio recording a song together, and in the middle of the recording session, something came up. He had to leave, so he got picked up. And I was like, well, how you want me to get back? Because I was crashing by his house. And he was like, oh, just take the car. Here's the keys. and
Manny Fresh gave you his car. I'm going to walk away at this moment in time.
And my heart started beating so fast, and I had my partner with me. And I remember after the recording session ended, we were in the car, and we're on the highway in Houston. And I promise you, I'm going 35 miles per hour on the interstate,
like,
going so slow, because it's raining that night. And I'm just like, bruh, this car is worth more than my life right now. Like, for real. Like, I cannot. And then next thing you know, we in Houston. And, you know, they whole culture out there is they have this thing called swinging, right? To where people are swaying on the interstate, meaning they're driving and they're swerving. You know what I mean? And somebody, I look in the freaking rearview mirror, and somebody is behind me, and they are swinging on the interstate, approaching us, and they're like moving lane to lane. I'm like, what the heck am I supposed to do right now? Like,
drive straight.
I'm so scared. Yeah, I was like, please, bro, don't hit this man's car.
So funny.
So I was like, I felt that feeling of driving those type of cars. You know, I've felt the feeling of, okay, I see this nice watch or I see this nice chain or whatever. None of that felt better than getting that final email when I had the last of all of my loans paid off. Nothing felt better than that. And when when I accomplished that and when I felt so great about that, I wanted to throw a party. I wanted to throw a party, and I was like, I don't know if people can relate to this feeling though, because everybody I know, they still paying them off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I was like, I don't want to seem like I'm bragging, so let me make a song about it, you know, because that way the people who I don't personally know, who have paid it off, they'll be able to relate to the song.
Yes.
And I can shape the song to where it's not just bragging about it, but it's actually, you know, putting in educational tidbits into the song so that people can say, hey, this is an anthem for me that I'm looking forward to that day when I can feel like D and say I paid all my loans off.
I'm telling you, I love that. And what did you think? First of all, I have a quick question about the video. There is one other guy that has the I Finish shirt in your music video. Did he also pay off his student loans?
The dude who had the I Finish shirt.
Because there's you and there's the other guy. There are two guys.
Right. No, he was like, D, I like that shirt. That's a great cousin. He was just like, D, I like that shirt. I didn't pay him all off yet, but I want to channel that energy, so let me wear it.
Speak it into existence.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
We had a bet, so I lost. But anyway, I lost. It's
yeah.
okay. It's okay. We lose sometimes. It's fine. But okay, cool. I love that. I love that it's an anthem, but I also think it's inspirational because when I heard that song, and it came out before we started this podcast, I wanted it to be the intro to our podcast. Like, to me, I heard that song and I was like, that's exactly how I want to inspire people to pay off their student. I don't want there to be student loan debt. That's why we started a whole company getting rid of it. Like, I don't think it should exist. I think it's holding back society.
For sure.
Right? People aren't getting married. They're not having kids. They're not doing basic things that further our economy.
Yeah, that's very real.
So, I mean, I think it's an anthem.
Yeah, it's definitely an anthem. The Washington Post called it the anthem of a generation. I remember seeing that. Then it was the Washington Post. Then it was Time Magazine picked it up. Then it was CNN. It brought me in Atlanta to do a segment on it. Then it was The Real, the daytime talk show, that brought me in to talk about it. And then it was Forbes that did an article on it. And when I started seeing that that everyone viewed it as an anthem, ironically, except for my record label.
What?
My record label hated that song.
What?
Yeah, they didn't want to push it. They did not want to push it. So the story about that song is that it never really came out as an official single when I was signed to the record label because they refused to push it.
Wow.
So the only reason it saw the light of day is that I shot a video with my own money in New Orleans to the song, and we put it out on YouTube, not on the streaming platforms. It was never on the streaming platforms. We put it out on YouTube as like a for promotional use only, just a content type of video, and it blew up there, and it stayed there. Now, by the time the record label saw it blow up there, and they wanted to, oh, hey, we want to get behind the song now. We want to help push it. First of all, I'm feeling like, y'all the same people who literally just told me this song was corny and y'all didn't want to push it. So now y'all want to push it. I was okay with, you know what, I'm not going to let my pride block my own blessing. What do y'all want to do to push it? That's what I asked them. I flew to New York, sat at the same round table that I sat at when I played it for them. I flew back and sat there and I was like, cool. What's the plan to push it? Because all of this traction that the song is getting, this is happening organically right now. This is by the grace of God that this is happening. What can y'all do to enhance it? Because I kind of don't even need y'all push at this point. All these opportunities are opening up organically. What's up? They didn't really have a plan to push it. They didn't have a budget to push it. They didn't have anything. So I was like, nah, we'll just keep it as like just a for promotional use only type of song. And then what I did was when I got out of my record deal, which I couldn't wait to get back independent, and it still took me about 2 years after that song came out to fully get out of my record deal. 1, 2, a little more than 2 years. And once that happened, then now that I owned the song and it never got uploaded on streaming platforms, I was able to upload it.
Got it.
So it is on Spotify. It is on Apple Music now. But I own it.
Love that. Because you deserve to own it.
For sure.
Especially if they... Anyways, we don't want to speak poorly of our employers, so...
Yeah.
We'll keep moving.
Sorry. Yeah.
We'll keep moving.
Yeah.
Okay, so you swallowed your pride and went back and still had a conversation with them. A lot of people wouldn't do that.
Yeah, this idea of us hating our employers, is something that I've never hated, anyone that I've worked for. And technically, as an artist, when you're signed to a label, they are your employer, and
Correct.
you work for them. So if anything, I had like a team-oriented attitude about stuff. And I did go and have the conversation with them, but I also got to the point where I had to respect myself enough to know that as an employer, you should have a mutual interest in wanting to see me be able to maximize my gift and
Professional
succeed.
growth.
And I found out something that they don't know that I knew this. And I've spoken on this at a few of my concerts around the country, but I've never said it on a public platform. I was supposed to be on Jimmy Fallon performing that song, and the record label blocked that opportunity. While all this was going on, they blocked it because the other big opportunities that were coming up, these outlets were reaching directly to my team, right? So we were facilitating those opportunities. For some reason, Jimmy Fallon's people reached out through the record label to like get to me.
It probably.
And because the record label wasn't, and I'm sure that they're used to doing things that way. And because the record label wasn't really in support of that song at the time, they blocked that opportunity and they said no. So,
You are a forgiving person, let me tell you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm blessed by the best. So at the end of the day, it's just kind of like you hear stuff like that, but then you look around and you see your life that you're living, and it's like, man, I'm so blessed that like y'all thought y'all got over on me by blocking that opportunity. What y'all don't know is, man, the way my life and my blessings are set up, God was probably like, bet, D, because you didn't go crazy and go with a baseball bat and breaking windows over there, I got 10 times as many blessings for you. You know what I mean? So I'm coolin'.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. Let's talk about your future, right? So you paid off your student loans through the record label, and you just have an album that dropped.
Yes.
You have some really inspirational music on that as well.
Yes.
Talk to us about that.
So the album is called Finding Balance. It's the highest debuting album of my career on the charts. It debuted at number 4 in the world on the Apple Music iTunes charts for hip hop. So independent, 100% independent. I own my own record label at this point. It's called Mission Vision Music. So that came out. I just started the first leg of the tour. So been going around the country. So great, like kind of like not post-COVID, because COVID still exists, but since the height of COVID, first time getting back on tour in various cities. Amazing feeling, just reconnecting with the fans.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure people missed you.
Oh gosh, I missed them even more. You heard me straight up. So that's been great. I definitely put a song on this album specifically dedicated to my passion for advocating for financial literacy. So this song is called Residual, because I think that we're in a space now where so many people are bridging the wealth gap simply because they're getting turned on to the outlets of passive income and how to tap into making residual money through investments, myself included. So I was like, yo, let me make a song on the album that talks about how, I don't spend my life working for these dead presidents. They work for me now. So I put all of them to work. When I'm sleeping at night, when I'm enjoying my time in Miami and catching some Z's, that money is working for me, via my investments. And I talk about that on the song Residual. So that's that's out on my album Finding Balance, and it's really just the beginning, because I've embraced my roots as a teacher. I've embraced my passion as a rapper, and been expanding like how to do both of those moving forward. So I have some really cool announcements to make really soon that I will be that I will be like launching, things I'll be launching, what I'll be doing. I just actually launched my first official podcast starting today. Yeah.
Oh, congratulations!
So, literally. So
where can we find your podcast?
Everywhere, at the same place they find yours. I'm sure. You know what I mean? Like everywhere. Apple, Spotify, YouTube.
What's it called?
It's called Mission Vision with Dee-1. Yep, Mission Vision with Dee-1, because mission vision is a lifestyle, you know, and part of that lifestyle is how to manage your money. Part of that lifestyle is how to have healthy relationships, friendships. Part of that lifestyle is how to tap into what your purpose is, your God-given purpose. You know, so all of these things comprise what I call mission vision, and that's what the podcast is all about. It feels really good to have an outlet other than just having to, cause rapping can be limiting sometimes, because it's like, hey, you only get so many bars in a song and everything has to rhyme.
And the audience is only so big also, right?
There you go. Like, not everybody is trying. There you go. I may have a 50-year-old man or a woman that's like, D1, I love what you stand for, man. You're so wise, so intelligent, but I just don't really, no offense to you.
Like my 75-year-old dad.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not just getting in the car pressing play and wanting to hear trap beats and then listen to your music, you know, and your message amidst all that. For some people, that aesthetic isn't right for them, but the podcasting aesthetic is more of their speed.
Absolutely. And what I love about our podcast listeners is that we have like a real relationship with them.
For real.
So people like reach out to us, hang out with us.
For real?
Yes.
That's fire.
So what I love, I think I have friends that are Instagram influencers, and I haven't heard the same level of engagement from their audience. But our audience, the Student Loan Podcast, you guys are awesome. We meet up together, we hang out. Like, you have a real relationship with your listeners.
That is so cool. You have a real relationship with your listeners because you choose to. I'm sure there's other people with that same opportunity because they have successful podcasts, but they don't choose to, or they feel like, oh, that's too much, or that's weird. So, you know, kudos to you, because that's not something that you have to do, because there's also a lot of weirdos in this world, you know.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So shout out to you for, I guess, having the discernment to know, like, hey, it's cool to go a step deeper in the engagement with these listeners and whatnot. But that is awesome, and that's what serving leadership is all about. I think being a leader, having this platform that people are attracted to. Just the fact that our life experiences, you know, for me, paying my student loans off, I didn't realize how rare that made me amongst my peer group at the time. I did not realize it until, you know, so here's another exclusive kind of like story or tidbit of info. I wasn't going to make Sallie Mae back into a song. It started out as a freestyle. And what I mean by freestyle, it was a verse that I wrote that I would perform as an a cappella in the midst of my concerts. So I'm on tour around the country, and after I do a couple of my songs, I kind of do this interlude of sorts where I'm just rapping this freestyle of sorts. And every time I would do the segment that talked about paying my student loans off and how good that felt, and I would do the, you know, I don't drive a Maybach, but I finished paying Sallie Mae back, I would get a standing ovation.
Yes.
That bar would get a standing ovation each night. And I was like, whoa, like this has people like so happy for me and proud of me when I speak about the joy I felt paying those loans off. And I was like, I thought of an old Jay-Z line. Jay-Z said, this when he was beefing with Nas, and Nas is my favorite rapper, so I used to hate Jay-Z back then. But he said, I sampled your voice, you were using it wrong. You made it a hot line, I made it a hot song, right? And Nas had a line that said, I'm out for presidents to represent me. Get money, I'm out for presidents to represent me. Jay-Z took that line and made it into a song called Dead Presidents.
Yes.
And so many more people know Jay-Z's song Dead Presidents than people who know that one line that Nas said. Yeah. And when he said that, I was like, yo, I need to do that with this right here. This bar about paying Sallie Mae back.
Wow.
This bar, like, I'm not going to just have it be a hot line. I'm going to make it into a hot song.
Diamond.
Drop the mic.
Whoa.
You know what I mean?
And this episode is over now. No, that applies to so many different areas, right? Because you can be good at one thing.
Mm-hmm.
You could stay in your lane, or you can see how it can become something bigger.
There you are. Yep.
And you did that with music.
Yep.
But our listeners can do that with their careers.
Yes.
They can do it with their studies. They can do it with any sort of business ideas. There's so many other ways that you can apply that same idea.
How bad do you want it is what I would ask you who's watching this. Like, how bad do you want it? Because you have to ask yourself questions like, what am I willing to sacrifice in order to get what I say I want?
Ooh.
I'm no longer attracted to just people saying what they want. My rebuttal every time is, what are you willing to sacrifice in order to get what you want? Because that is what I have to look back on my journey and say that I had to sacrifice a lot of tangible pleasures of this world, or a lot of things that people may say, hey, you shouldn't be depriving yourself of this. Like, you just graduated college, you deserve to buy yourself a new car. Why? You know what I mean? Like
for you?
Exactly.
Like,
yeah.
Does it make you feel better if I have a new car?
Yeah.
Then you should pay my car.
Exactly. You should pay for my car. Exactly. like, oh, you're not going to the club tonight? Everybody's going to be there. Everybody is not going to be there because I'm not going to be there. So everybody's not going to be there. And I'm cool because I'm not just abstaining from these certain things just to suffer. No, I have a purpose for when I'm not at that club, those 4 hours, I'm going to be writing a song that's going to change my life in those 4 hours. That car that I'm not buying and that extra $25,000, $30,000, $40,000, whatever, once you finish paying the interest on it, like that same money is going to be used to fund my studio time and to fund my travel expenses to be able to go around this country and make relationships that are then going to be like perpetually like just adding value to my life forever. You know, that's what it is. It's like, what are you willing to sacrifice to get what you want? And is this something that your fire is going to burn out? Because your fire won't burn out if this is something that you truly are doing because you are passionate about it. But so many people have tricked themselves into thinking they're passionate about something just because a person told them, you should be this, you know, you should do this with your life, or I think you're good at this. And we are often like seeking validation so much that the first person that tells us something, oh wait, what? You said I'm good at this? Wait, you said I should do this? Okay, cool. And we'll find ourselves on a life mission chasing something that somebody told us when we were 12 years old that we should do this. And it's like, now you're in your 20s and 30s, and it's like, are you chasing this because of that person? You know, and like, we just have to, I believe in quiet time. I believe in having a sober mind. I don't drink. I don't smoke. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like to be in my right mind and understand all of the different emotions that come along with life, all of the different highs, the different lows, and to be able to put experiences into context, because that way I can always account for the why behind why I am doing this. It's so many times, Daphne, that I'm sitting back either writing a rap or preparing for a concert or doing a press run or ordering merchandise to go on tour with or en route from one show to the next, that amidst doing that, I'll have one of those moments like, man, you better be lucky you love doing this, D, because if not, this is not the sexy part that I'm doing right now. You know what I'm saying? It ain't sexy folding up hoodies that you're about to, you know, put in boxes to bring on the road with you to sell at your concerts. It's not all of these parts that, like, it's not sexy when you're sitting here and you're stuck on what's going to rhyme with Daphne that I could put in this, you know, what Daphne.
Please put my name in one of your songs. I'd be so happy.
I'm like, what rhymes with that? And I'm sitting here stuck, and I'm like,
awesome.
This ain't the sexy part of this profession, but that's where it's like, man, I'm so happy that I love this because I love even the non-sexy parts about it, you know.
That's how you know. So okay, so that's a really good point. Walking through separating what you think your passion is from what it actually is, what methodology did you use to come up with it?
All right, number one, am I willing to do this for free? Do I still get joy out of it when I'm doing it for free? Straight up. So am I willing to do it for free, and do I get joy? Because you can be willing to do something, but that doesn't mean you're still getting joy out of it. So I was like, am I getting joy out of this? I was getting so much joy out of rapping for free that I almost forgot that you're supposed to get paid. I was just, every time I put a new mixtape out, oh yeah, let's put it up on the website for free though. I don't want to charge people. Like, I just want them to download it and just enjoy it. Meanwhile, they're like, that's why they made iTunes, right? Like, you can put it there and monetize it. Nah, I don't want to charge people. I just want them to have it.
Oh my God.
I was like, and then I had to come to my senses, like, yo, bro, it's okay to love it, but it's okay to make money.
No, it is.
Yeah, like, it's okay to make money. So that's one thing. That's part of my methodology. Secondly, to figure out if it's something that I'm truly passionate about, I ask myself, do I have an internal desire to want to be great at this, as opposed to just doing enough to get by? When I worked at McDonald's flipping McGriddles in the morning, I did not care about being the best McGriddle flipper in the city of New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, man, I'm not gonna mess these people food up. I don't want to poison anybody. I'm gonna do enough to get by. Work start at 4:30 in the morning for me. I'm gonna get there at 4:29. You know what I'm saying? Like, in the morning, bam. Like,
Work started at 4:30?
yeah, I worked the morning shift. This was the summer before I started college. So I had 2 jobs. I used to work at McDonald's and at a store called Circuit City. Yeah, it was kind of like a competitor of Best Buy. Yeah, so they lost the competition, but because I don't think Circuit City is around no more.
Yeah, I haven't seen one since Mississippi. So.
But yeah, I used to work from 4:30 in the morning to 1 p.m. At McDonald's, and then I would get a ride from I think my girlfriend's sister. No, I used to catch the bus. Yeah, from McDonald's to the other part of town and work at Circuit City from 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. And I did that for the whole summer, and that was
so you have incredible work ethic.
Yeah, incredible work ethic, but I didn't have a desire to be great at either one of those jobs. It was literally about, I'm doing this to save up as much money as possible for college so I could get a car. That's what it was all about. When it came to understanding what my passion was, though, I was like, I legit want to be the best artist that I can possibly be, and I have a passion for wanting to figure out how to make my next album better than my last album, and how to make this next performance a little better than the last performance. That internal desire to want to be your greatest at what you're doing, that lets you know that, hey, this is something you're really passionate about.
No, for sure.
So those are my top 2 things. Let me see if I got a third one, because I like threes. Be real, be righteous, be relevant. I like threes. You know what I mean? Third thing to truly know if I'm passionate about something is definitely being willing to take the narrow road and not follow the easy route that it seems other people are taking in what you do, right? So for me, I knew that I wasn't just passionate about the success of this, because so many people told me, bro, you trying to be successful as a rapper? You from New Orleans? Man, just rap about, murder. Honestly, rap about the streets. Like, you come from the streets. You know what I mean? This is what you grew up around. Rap about that. Or you could be Chris Brown with dreads. Just rap about, just rap about all these girls and all this stuff. And people telling me, like, this lane is wide open if you want to take that route, And for me, I was like, no, I'm like really passionate about this specific art form, because that doesn't take any effort. Anybody could rhyme, gun with fun, with ton, with sun. And I was like, I don't want to do that. I want to actually put thought into this craft, and I want to give people like a message in what I'm saying, but I want to make it so creative and so charismatic that the message is wrapped up in such like entertainment value and such a dope package that people still flock to want to consume this message. You know what I mean? I want to be the rapper to where they say nobody from New Orleans has ever made it, as an artist, as a rapper who is glorifying God in their music, who isn't cursing in their music, who's glorifying being college educated, Nobody's ever done it before. So basically them trying to say, stay away from it, because that lane doesn't even exist from down here. And I was like, no, I want to be the one.
I love that.
Straight up. So that lets you know, if you're willing to take the narrow road, if you're willing to carve out your own lane, there's other podcasts that talk about financial literacy or student loan debt and whatnot. But if you're like, no, we're not going to just try to say, oh, well, if they're doing that, let's be just like them, and we could take some of their market share and just be like a branch off from them. It's like, no, if if there's McDonald's, then cool. I'm not gonna make McDowell's. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna make McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be Chick-fil-A and say, cool. We might be in the same industry by and large, but I clearly have my own niche that I have created.
Close on Sundays.
Yeah,
Yep.
and the desire to do that and to actually build something from scratch that's going to take more effort, you got to be passionate about something to do that. Like, that's salute to people who when they buy houses, when they are passionate enough to say like, hey, I'm down to build this from the ground up. It's going to take a long time, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I watched those videos.
Yeah, like the people who are down to do that, as opposed to the people who say, man, I'm just ready to live somewhere different, like tomorrow.
Yeah.
So let's just find a house that exists already that I like, and we're going to go ahead on and buy that. That's me. I'm the second one. I'm the second one. I'm like, man, I was ready to get a crib. Look, I ain't got no 8 months, 6 months, a year to
wood.
Like I'm straight, man. I want me a crib tomorrow, and that was, but that's because I wouldn't consider that a passion of mine to have seen that whole process through to completion. And that's okay to be able to distinguish what you're extremely passionate about versus what you're just in it for the end result.
I love that. I mean, honestly, we could do a whole class right now.
For real.
Like
a whole master class.
This is a master class. This is a special episode. You talk about the passion. You spoke about making sure that it's something that you would do for free, making sure that you have your own lane. Those two qualities by themselves, I think it reminds you that your passion is something that you're almost not, it's almost subconscious, right? You know that this is something that you're meant to do. Talk to the people in the audience that know what they're meant to do, but are not doing that so that they can pay the bills, pay off their student loans, whatever.
Yeah. Well, I can't put all of y'all in the same category, so I don't want to say that I'm sorry for you, because some people are willingly, not doing what they love because it may be fear that they're dealing with. So for those of you who are dealing with fear, I can understand where that comes from, because I struggle with dealing with fear as well. And sometimes it's the fear of being everything that you were called to be, and it's the fact that that's going to require more of you, and just because we are doing well in life doesn't mean that we are doing our best in life. And we have to ask ourselves, is that fear something that we want to allow it to prevent us from doing our best in life? For me, I'm in a stage in my life to where I don't want that fear to prevent me from having my best in any aspect of my life. So now it's working to figure out how to overcome that fear. And that takes intentional effort, that takes consistency, that takes prayer, and that just takes like a lot of work. You got to shut up and grind. You can't make excuses, because the fear is what will produce the excuses, and the fear will put the excuses right on your lap to where it's like, here you go, here's all the excuses. All you got to do is just pick which one you want to use today. Here's the excuse. So I know that that's some of y'all. With some of y'all, it's like, there's literally no fear. It's just the circumstance that I'm in life right now. I have kids. I have a family that depends on me, so I can't just jump away from this stable salary that I'm making to pursue something that won't be making any money from day one, but that I have to take time to build up. So when it's not fear that you're dealing with, when it's circumstances, circumstances require strategy. Fear requires courage. Circumstances require strategy.
Wow.
Yeah. So that strategy right there is something to where there are professionals. There are people, you're looking at two of them right here who literally can say, hey, this is what we do. We specialize at bringing strategies to the table, bringing solutions to the table that can overcome the circumstances that you're dealing with right now. So that is really important to know that you are not inadequate if you don't have all the answers on your own. As far as maybe the strategy, maybe you have an idea, but you're not sure about certain aspects of things. tap into a professional. Tap into a person. Like currently, there's areas in my life to where I was like, I know what I want, and I know where I'm at, and somewhere along the way, there's something that I don't all the way get, right? And so I started going to therapy, because in these certain, I would say, aspects or categories of life, I've said, you know what? Let me see if a therapist, a professional, can help to unclog, that clot that I feel right here, or just that level of cloudiness. So I'm practicing what I preach. I'm just telling people that like we all have a unique situation as to what may be preventing us from getting where we want to get. And honestly, if you're watching this right now, I feel like you at least care enough about either student loans or your student loan journey, or just forward progress in life, to where you're already proving that if you're watching this, if you're listening to this, you're proving that you want to make progress. And it's like progress is a thing that we have to commit to as part of a lifestyle. And that's all. Like, if you don't commit to this, then what are you committing to? Are you committing to complacency?
Wow. So powerful. I think you're talking about growth. You're talking about finding those people that can help you get there. What about your routine, specifically your morning routine? This sounds like probably everybody asks this question for all your interviews, but from a financial literacy perspective, what routine do you think did you have in place that helped you get to the point where when you paid off the lump sum, you were in a good place? And then secondly, what's your morning routine today to keep you grounded, to keep you in a place where you're open to hearing from God? What's your routine today?
So the question as to the routine back then that helped to get me in a place where I was focusing on the right things in the morning is that honestly, I didn't go to Starbucks every day. I legit got to the point where I was like, dang, 30 days times, $6 or $7 a day. I'm like, man, that's $200 a month. Like, I need that, So at that point in life, I'm like, I need that. I can think of so many things other than a Frappuccino or something like that that's gonna feel good and be able to like help me moving forward financially. So I was able to be disciplined in the morning and legit, if I'm gonna eating at the crib, before I left to go to work. I got to the point where I realized that, me listening to certain types of music, I was like, okay, what is this impacting me to want to do? And some of the music, I was like, it's not making me want to do anything. It's literally just like programming me to become dumber, And I had to stop listening to that music. It's been hard to stop listening to that music because I grew up my whole life listening to this stuff, to where you develop an appetite for something that's actually poisonous, to you. And I got serious though. I got serious about my morning routine, and before I was able to say I want to try to cut more and more of this out of my overall life, it was like, at least in the morning, D, give it a break, bro. Like, at least I never wanted to be that person pulling up to my job and I got to turn the music way down because it's like, I'm in here selling dope and killing people in this car. Like, that's what I'm doing. And now I'm in front of these kids at school. Let me turn the volume down.
That's so funny.
So I was able to stop that. And really, I remember my drives to school being, I'll be by myself. And I could legit talk to God out loud, though.
Wow.
Out loud and talking to God out loud. It felt great. It felt great to get the conversations out of my brain, As far as you fast forward to nowadays, so great morning routine for me definitely includes, waking up and before I get out of the bed, being able to, be heavy in prayer, like literally while I'm still in the bed, while I'm while I'm fresh off of being thankful. Like I wake up now and the first thing I say is like, thank you. You know, that literally, that's the first thing I say is thank you, because I know that I've been blessed to be here for another day.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I set those intentions for the day. You know, after giving thanks to God, I set those intentions for the day in terms of not even everything that I want to accomplish, because then that feels like work. That gets to like looking at a to-do list. But I set the intentions in terms of what energy do I want to carry with me wherever I go in that day, with whoever I encounter. What do I want to radiate? You know, what kind of joy do I want to radiate? And just constantly thinking about what I want to exude, you know. So that's a part of my everyday routine. On my best days, because I travel a lot. So, like, it's been great that I'm out here in Miami, and where I'm staying at, there's like a Jamba Juice right, literally right across the street from where I'm staying. So it's like I go get me an acai bowl or like a smoothie or something to you know, in a healthy way, like start out my morning as well. That's when I'm able to, when I'm not traveling and in a place where I'm kind of like, there's nothing really around, then I'm always looking to start my day off with a smoothie or with an acai bowl or something that's just going to be nourishing to me. And by the time I do those things, by the time I've prayed, I've set my intentions for the day, and, you know, I've consumed something healthy, you know, I'm good to go.
I love that. I love that. That is a wonderful morning routine that you can still apply as you're paying off your student loans. But it's carried you even into the success that you have today.
For sure. And the success that I have, I always make sure that, like, when I think about the student loan journey, that it's not something that I approach with a level of shame about ever having the loans, because there were also times where during that journey I find myself getting angry, and I'm like, you know, thinking about like, oh, I feel like this company, you know, is doing me dirty, or like, oh, why did I even have to take this loan out? Because one of the mistakes I made was I got to a point in college where I was taking out loans to not fund my educational journey, but to fund other business endeavors that I was trying to pop off, you know, and they didn't pop off, and I still had the debt though. Yeah. And I just remember being just having a level of shame at various points that would just make me mad and make me angry, and I realized that you can't be like that. Your journey is your journey. Yep. And the decisions that we have made already, all we can do is focus on, cool, how do we make better ones in the future? But there's also value in, you know, in exposing yourself to a lot of knowledge and a lot of wisdom, so that for those of us, you might have somebody right now who is currently in school and is on the fence about if they need to take out certain loans or not. You might have someone who hasn't even started school yet. They're trying to pick which school they're going to go to. Yep. And I'm telling you, hey, go to the one, if you're getting a scholarship from one versus not from the other, go to that one with the scholarship.
What if the love of your life is at the school?
Man, forget her, man. Look, she ain't going to do nothing but mess over you. That's what happened to me.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, she cheated on me.
Oh, my God. I'm so sorry.
Oh, what? I'm traumatized, girl. What you mean? I'm still shook. Oh, yeah.
Guys, let's pray for Dee-1.
Yeah.
To have positive relationships in his life.
Oh, yeah, yo. That's part 2 of this episode. It would be the whole rundown. But nah, it's cool though. It's cool. Without that, I wouldn't have started rapping. I started rapping because
heartbreak.
Yes, literally heartbreak. Like
so thank you, girl that cheated on Dee-1.
Nah, thank you for real. Like it's been a lot of lives blessed, you know, by Dee-1 and by Dee-1's music, and a lot of people are gonna continue to be blessed. So thank you, and I say that with all due respect. It's all love. It's no beef or anything at this point. Like, God works in mysterious ways.
It really does. And last major point, I think, is using something that hurts you so much to bring out the best in you is like almost your story.
Yes. That is wow. That is what champions are made of. You know, it's usually it's that setback, it's that injury, it's that heartbreak, it's that failure that you allowed to fuel you instead of instead of diminish you and defeat you.
Yep.
That's exactly what I have done. That's what I've continued to do by being an underdog in the rap game. And
Are you still an underdog?
am I still an underdog? Very much so.
Really?
Yes, because whenever you're representing, being real, being righteous, and being relevant in an industry that would rather glorify being raunchy, being ratchet, and being ridiculous, you're always gonna be the underdog. For sure, like always. And it's funny when people see you being successful, and when they say, "Well, okay, you're successful, but that's because you were special." And my thing is like, I want to empower so many more people to be able to be successful by actually embracing doing the right thing with their talent.
Yeah.
So for me, it's not about just me being successful. Like I got a whole classroom full of students that I remember just being like, man, I want them to all be able to become successful in life without having to take the easy road or without having to think that they have to conform to this very narrow view of what cool looks like or what being a black person, comes along with. And it's like, I want that for so many more people. So with that being said, I always have work to do that's going to impact lives, right? That's why I'm the underdog, because a person who is not the underdog, once they make it for themselves, they're just like, all right, I'm comfortable. I did what I had to do. Like that was easy. I put in a little work. I made it, and that's all this was all about. This is never just all about me. This is all about everybody watching this, all about everybody who my music isn't reaching yet, but I got the potential to reach them. So I got to make a song that's a little better, a little doper, market a little harder, and reach them, because their life literally hangs in the balance. You know what I'm saying?
You are literally doing the work of Jesus.
Thank you. That's shoot. I wouldn't have it any other way.
I think that is a beautiful way to wrap up this amazing episode. Do you have any words of advice for the audience, words of encouragement, inspiration before we wrap up?
If y'all ain't get any advice or encouragement in this last hour, then you need to press rewind, and you must have been busy texting or something, because we done put a lot out there.
Take notes.
Yeah, like straight up. Just like I wear on my chest, though. Be real, be righteous, and be relevant in everything you do. Be real, be righteous, and be relevant. Live your life with mission, vision, understanding that you do have a purpose, and it's all about just having the vision to manifest that purpose and make it come true. I'm here to help you on your journey, as is Daphne, and this isn't gonna stop. I'm Dee-1. All of the work that I do that's out there on the internet, it's all meant to serve you, to be honest with you. So just enjoy. You heard me? Go dig in.
Yes. And where can our lovely listeners find you, engage with you? Where can we connect?
Sure. So on all social media platforms is Dee-1 Music, DEE, the number 1 music. That's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, even my YouTube channel, Dee-1 Music. I now have my podcast, the Mission Vision Podcast with Dee-1, on all podcasting platforms. Go check that out. The first episode just dropped today, literally. Super excited about that. Just randomly thinking today my mama's birthday. Mama, happy birthday to you. I already text you, Mom, but I'm and I know, I'm gonna send you this podcast just so you can hear the shout out I gave you. You heard me? Just so you know, like, my baby really love me. Yeah, I love you, Mom. So big shout out to her. And everywhere on all streaming platforms for my music is DEE-1. Just spell my name right and go consume the music. And lastly, my website, missionvisionlifestyle.com. That's where you'll see the apparel. That's where you'll see the upcoming tour dates. That's where you'll see everything else I got going on. And I think that's about it.
Yay. Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for listening to another episode of the Student Loan Podcast. For more episode, you know where to go. You go to thestudentloanpodcast.com/the episode number that you are listening to. We loved having Dee-1 on. We cannot wait to listen to more of his music. Go check his tours out. Go listen to the podcast. I know I'm going to listen to it literally right after we finish recording. And I can't wait to see you guys next week. Have a good one.
Peace.